let's wait for this camera to turn on. Yeah, may as well get started. I have no idea how long it's supposed to go on for. I've got the timer. I don't know. It's an HP. I'm not buying another one. My philosophy is that if this one's bad, they're all going to be bad. So because mine wasn't cheap. They say, yeah, but that's an entry level one. It's not fucking cheap. I'm sorry, but what I paid, wasn't cheap. So, hello, Jamie. I'm okay, thank you. And HP was very, very good band. That's why I bought That's why I bought it, because it was fucking HP. I didn't realize it was HP. 2000 and X is now crap. No, it's shocking. I mean, I'd show you the keyboard on this one, how it's worn, and it's worn like almost from the back, almost from the get go. The rest of the keys actually haven't worn as much, surprisingly. Yes, that's one of the reasons why I went for this one, is because it was not that I could really afford it, but it had the specs that I could kind of afford, which it's an it's an NVIDIA 1050 Ti and it's an i5, and that's why I bought it, because I needed a workhorse. I needed something that could do the work within budget. Otherwise, I would have bought an Asus or MSI gaming laptop. I mean, that's proper hardware. This is Mickey Mouse shit. But that's not the hardware is good. What's inside the actual processor, that because HP doesn't make it. But the rest of it is it's rubbish. The screen. This is supposed to be a gaming laptop. The screen is so bad. It's like seriously dim. It is so bad. $100 fucking screen from a Zeropa. I think it's called Zeropa. Is 100 times better. That's how bad it is. It's just like a no-name brand off the market LED screen. It's brilliant, actually. That's the one I use mostly. If I didn't need the keyboard in front of me, like when I'm working, I actually literally would have just swapped the screens over, used the laptop as a second screen. But I don't have a keyboard. Once I do, but if I'm still working on the laptop, once I have a keyboard, I'm going to fucking put the laptop as a second screen and just work off the Zeropa 15-inch. Oh yeah, 100%. Good luck with that one. Good luck with that one. And it depends also what. It also depends on what you mean by color accuracy. There's literally only one screen or two screens on the market that actually deliver Adobe 1932 or something. I forget the number. RGB. And there are very few that actually deliver ProPhoto color. So, 100% of like RGB is fuck all. Well, I've got two, which are now quite old. I've got two Samsungs, my two 28-inch 4K monitors, matching monitors that I used to work on before I immigrated. They cover, I think, like 97 or 98% of RGB. It's RGB, so I say. And then about 70-80% of, Adobe 19, whatever it is. I forget it is. Well, yeah. But if it starts off by being bad, it's bad. So that's the point. A good why is this coming apart? I suppose that I wanted to. No, don't do that. God damn it! Why? Why now? That it's on the desk. Does this want the stupid thing you want to slide off? It's telling me yes. I know. I need to switch this over to that side because this side's kind of more worn. I know that. It never reminds me afterwards, after I've done the stream. It always reminds me before. Like, no, before I'm not doing it. Sorry. I was actually going to switch it around, but because there's a towel underneath to kind of mute the sounds a bit, it's like folded over. It's an old towel. I actually just need to cut it so it's actually just the size of the board, which is not far from here. But I still haven't done it. I've never reopened it. It's been 6 months. So I need to go cut the towel. And it's kind of just wrapped around. It's actually just an artist board. That's why it actually bends every now and again. I kind of bend it up like this. Tilt it up, and it serves them. I don't care about touchpads because touchpads are useless to me. They're fucking useless to me. You can do nothing with them except play games, or fuck around on the laptop. I use a thingamajiggy, a trackball when I can. I'm still stuck with this one for now, but it's actually not bad. This Corsair mouse, why is it stuck underneath the board? This Corsair mouse is actually not bad. I'm actually surprisingly very impressed. It wasn't cheap. I mean, there's no cheap Corsair products really. That's the cheapest one, but it's really, really, really a very good mouse, and I'm actually very pleased with it because, like, I didn't buy another. I didn't bring my trackball with me because I didn't have a laptop. I had such an old laptop, I didn't even bother to bring it with. I just got rid of it. I just gave it to somebody. So I was going to bring the fucking mouse with me when I didn't have a laptop. It was just I was given one by a friend in England. That's the old HP, and this the new HP. When you say touchpad, I think of it. Yeah. So I don't like touchpads, and I specifically, absolutely had a loathing for laptops. They've got giant fucking touchpads. It's fucking stupid. It serves no purpose. It's really just one of these silly things. I know somebody can give me a purpose for it. I see no purpose for it. You set the settings properly, and it doesn't matter what. I mean, obviously, if it's too small, the touchpad is way too small. It's also too small. But these giant fucking touchpads are kind of really stupid. You can't do anything with them. It is a mouse, except it doesn't sell, so you have to say it's a touchpad. Bit like a Tampax. You got to touch it to put it in. Yeah, no, I know. So I'm not crazy, and that's the one thing. That's the one thing I don't like about this one. Yeah, it's a good mechanics. The touchpad on this one's not too bad, except it's always in the fucking way. It's literally the size, about the size of those two cards. That's how big the fucking touchpad is. You see, slightly smaller. Okay, that's how big the touchpad. So it's always in the fucking way. Like I don't need a giant. It's stupid. It's bigger than a packet of cigarettes. It's literally as wide as this, and it's longer. About that big. It's about a card and a third. It's fucking useless. So when I'm fucking writing, it's constantly I'm constantly tapping, and then because it touches it moves me out of where I'm typing. So I end up typing somewhere else, and I'm going, oh, for fuck's sakes, and I have to undo because whatever I've typed is not typed in the middle of another paragraph. There's no fucking button to turn it off. This is going to be a rant. The old HP was, a cheap laptop. That one had a fucking button. You just press the button, it turned it off. No, this one you can't turn it off. It's just always fucking working. The software is useless. Sensitivity, my ass, it doesn't help. Have a fucking button. You turn it off. And when you're typing, it's turned off. You're not constantly touching it all the time, It's just stupid. This one's got one of those stupid, wobbly, bouncy, sounds like a loose bag of bolts inside clickable touchpad. Like the whole touchpad moves when you click. Like, I fucking hate that. I hate that guy. I mean, I just needed the specifications, so I just bought this one because this is what I could get here in Ireland. And so that's what I got. But it's besides that. I mean, it on paper it's a nice machine, but in practice it's crap. It's such cheap, nasty plastic shit. I mean, and it's a pity because some parts of it are really nice. Like it's got a metal chassis, except for the bottom, which I discovered. But even that's decent quality plastic. I know because I cracked it. I couldn't find I didn't realize there was a third screw when I was trying to get the thing off. There was a third screw hidden. So I was like, this shit's not coming off. And then I heard it crack. Oh, that's plastic. So it's got a crack in the chassis at the bottom. Then I found the screw. Hey, that's how you find screws. You force it. No, I was trying to wiggle. I thought, okay, maybe it's caught in something. So I was trying, and then, like, with trying to wiggle it, I heard it crack, and that's why. But the top, the lid it's so wobble. It's such a wobble. Like this wouldn't last. It wouldn't last a year or two in the hands of a kid or anything. It is so flimsy. No, you can't. And 4 years ago, you already couldn't. That's mine. Mine was around about that mark, and it was old. The hardware was old. Like, I mean, I don't care. You know, I mean, for me, I didn't care that the hardware is old. It was what I could afford. What I cared about was that the keyboard is horrible. It's horrible. This is a gaming laptop. I want to see kids game on this thing. It'll be fucked in a month. It's not a fucking gaming laptop if the keyboard is this bad. Already, you see me all the time when I'm typing, like on other channels now. You see me constantly correcting myself. It's not because I'm a bad typist. It's because the keyboard is bad. Okay, I haven't written the book for a couple of months, but still, no, the keyboard is just bad. Like, I'm typing, it's not pressing the keys. The keys are not actually activating it. You don't need pressure for keys to activate. You just need. I mean, these things. I don't know if they are. I can't remember anymore if they are actually switches or if they're just a membrane keyboard. But they're crap. They're absolute crap. They don't activate. You have to literally press them like hard. It's like, what's the point of that? It's like, this is not how you type. Yeah. No, I mean, I wouldn't buy it. I mean, unless if I was hard pressed and if this one packed up and I had to buy another one, I'd probably, yeah, well, actually, I don't even have that kind of money anyway, so I would just, no, I just wouldn't, I'd just be without a PC. But it's just shocking, the quality, and they say, because of this, no, it's because of fucking greed. That's what it is. I had a plotter from HP, which I bought in 1995. It was still, I mean, I didn't try it, but it was still working when I had to get rid of it in 2018. It had been serviced because it was so fucking old. The man says, actually, I can get parts for this. I can still get parts for it. I said, I'll service it for you. It was like a dream. All I needed was, what happened is it's got a huge cog belt that goes around the entire plotter to pull the head all the way along the A4 paper. Well, actually, technically, that's half. So that would be A2 length, because the paper goes inside it. And he says, like, I've got a supply. I can get one of these belts for you. I said, I'll service it for you. It was like a dream. It was like whisper quiet. It was absolutely precise. If it had been, you just had to calibrate the head, because otherwise it would it would print slightly like this. So like the lines would be like this. So it rolled the paper. So it would print along the whole strip, and then rotate the sheet, and then print along the sheet. And so if it was slightly out of calibration, it would print like this. So you just calibrated. That was it. Then the printer said, "Oh yeah, no," and that was it. It was brilliant. But I will never, unless I have to. I'm never going to buy another HP again. Definitely not computer-wise. It's junk. They're junk. I mean, it doesn't matter that it's got an Intel in it and the 1080 Ti, etc. Which I know about today's standards it's old. But this machine is already 3 years old now, and it was already dated by the time I bought it. That's what I could afford. 3.5 years. And it's not, because it's old, it needs to be replaced. I said, no, that's not how things used to be. But that's not even the point. The point is that, like, for example, there's no control button. I mean, there's nothing on it. It's just one big white key shining through the black, because there's nothing on it. It's just completely worn off immediately. Like, for example, this keyboard, you can't give it to anybody who's got nails, because I literally will scratch off all the black. That's how bad it is. My first HP laptop was also free, and it's actually very nice. I've still got it. Yeah, it was a friend of mine that sent it to me from England to use, because I had nothing when I was trying to find work. I was working on my phone, my old phone, and eventually I just took a dive. I had the money I had left, and I just took a chance, and I just bought the laptop because I needed to do something with my life. I was just sitting around doing nothing on my phone, trying to send, trying to do stuff, and then some of them would only allow one PDF, and then my portfolio, I couldn't upload the portfolio because I couldn't attach it to the PDF, and then I had an app on my phone that I could merge the two, and then it would be too big. It's like, it was such a nightmare. And eventually I got a laptop, and I wrote a whole lot of books I didn't publish. It was great, except the keyboard's terrible. The keyboard on the old one's actually very nice for laptops. Also notice from consumer PCs, if you buy business grade on Dell. Yeah, there's a lot of what's the word? Crippling. There's a lot of crippling. Sometimes it's almost the same hardware. They just deliberately cripple the stuff. Yeah. And this is another big thing is that you can't get into the BIOS properly. You cannot change anything really. There's no point in even having a BIOS because there's almost nothing you can do. Like what I do these days, if I remember, is I just go into the BIOS before I restart. I just start hitting F10, go into the BIOS, say exit with saving, go out, and then the Wi-Fi works. It's such a piece of shit. It's just a piece of. It was €1,000 and it just under. It was on sale, and it's a piece of shit. It's an absolute piece of shit. It's literally like I probably could have gotten something better on the sort of like the no-name brand market for like probably €800. I would have gotten exactly the same, and it probably would work. You know, they say it's a fucking gaming laptop. The hardware is for gaming. The rest is just rubbish. No, Henk, this is like 3-4 years ago. This is not now. We're not talking about €1,000 now. Is nothing. They've doubled the money supply. Everything is automatically halved. So whatever I paid 1,000 for, technically now you should be paying close to 1,500 to 2,000. It's not by today's standards. It's about back then when I got it. I turned everything off. It's like fuck off. Like whatever I could turn off, I turned off. I mean, I've been doing. I did PC support in the early 2000s. Like I've been building my own PCs. I started with my own home computer in 1995. That's where the HP came from. I bought all of it. Like it was more than most people earned in a year. Okay, I bought all of it myself. Great cost. So it's like I know computers. Don't fucking hide the BIOS from me. Like I have RAM in there. I mean, I bought it anyway because I wanted it. Hope also in the hopes that it will work. I've got like factory chosen matching RAM from I forget another brand. I forget now. I was actually going to go get Kingston, but they did for some reason they didn't have. Or I can't remember what it was. So I bought the other brand. I can't remember what the brand was. Forget now. Fuck. Anyway, literally, I knew there was like a 90% chance it'll work. It just doesn't work at optimal speed. But I thought, oh well, one day I'll have another laptop that'll work on that one. So I'll just invest once. If I sell this one, I'll just put the fucking old RAM back in. It's like fuck off. Yeah, here's a piece of shit. Enjoy. It's a gaming laptop. Yeah, but it's not. The point is that you cannot label it as a gaming laptop if the keyboard's very bad. I mean, you can forgive the LED screen, the screen that not being particularly bright, etc. Because you won't notice. I didn't actually really notice at the time until I started working on others, and I got this one. When I got this one that I monitor, you can't see, I monitor OBS on. It's like wow, it's like night and fucking day. You can't. And I realize, and it's also gotten worse with age. I realize it's so bad that doing graphic design and that, like, I'm constantly paranoid because I'm used to having two large 28-inch 4K Samsung monitors, which I knew had an almost 100% coverage of sRGB. So I can look at it and I know what I'm doing. This one is like I have no fucking idea what it looks like. And then on the other one, I think, wow, that's really too colorful. Now that one's about right. And at the end of the day, I've calibrated them manually because my calibrator is also in storage. So I've calibrated them to be as close as possible, but you can never get two different brands to match. That one's got, I must say, that one's actually got a relatively natural color. But whenever I do graphic design, hey, Terrago, how you doing? When I work on my laptop, when I'm doing graphic design, I'm constantly checking on this screen because it's like what looks subtle and classy on my laptop is like fucking horribly garish, and it's like maximized color on a proper screen. Just saying. How you doing? I don't know if we're allowed to tell people who you are or not, so I'll leave that up to you. Yeah, so now we're just bitching because Hank decided to get an HP. I would show you what my keyboard looks like already. But the thing is, if to swing it back, then it's like it won't align properly with the desktop. Literally, the keys are just worn off. And you're not Barney. You're a imposter. Imposter. Security. Remove that man. He's a lie. So yeah, so we're just bitching because Henk decided to get an HP. But obviously, there are also different grades. There are different grades of hardware. But €1,000 is not cheap. 4 years ago, and we're looking at the beginning of, I think it was at the beginning of 2019. I think around about then. So it's a long time. It's almost 4 years. I mean, hey, wait a minute. Oh, and not yet. I've almost been in Ireland for 4 years now. It'll be a couple of days. I don't know when it is. I arrived at the end of this month. I was so happy to be gone by now. I had this goal that I would be gone before I could say I was there for 4 years. I went to say I was just there for 3 3/4. Nope. Oh, by the way, I ordered. Fuck knows when it's going to get you. I ordered some more of these cards because they're a little bit cheaper than Amazon, but it might never get you. That's how long it takes to get you. But they've got the one card for 40 cents. I couldn't resist. It's a magician's trick. So I bet you I can give you half of that 7 of clubs. Of course you can't. I can pull a card. So there's a special card that's a 33.5. So I thought that'd be fun. I'm going to stick it in one of the packets, and I'll have to figure it out. I don't know. That'll mean something. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I was stuck in Ireland, and I didn't have much choice. I had to kind of just buy one at the what's the store? I forget now. You've also got it in the UK. And back then I wasn't even online, and I didn't buy anything online. I still would not buy a laptop online. It's very unlikely. I might order the parts and build myself a desktop. Yes. Um, God forbid I should trust anybody to build my own fucking desktop. Fucking monkeys. And it's always, and it's, I would probably, if it didn't cost me any extra and they put a warranty on it, I would choose what I wanted. They would assemble it and then send me the box. And then they could warranty it. But other than that, no, give me the fucking boxes. Give me the individual warranties. Give me the bits and pieces that they steal, because I know what PC shops are like. Oh, look, you've got all these cable connectors that we're not going to use on this one, so we're going to put it in our little drawers to use and then charge somebody for them. Of course you can. You can do whatever the fuck you like. This machine's eventually going to have Linux on it. Well, I should have already put it on it, but it's like because then I also know what it is. It'll be a rabbit hole, and then nobody will see me for like a week. I'll be in Linux until I get it set up, and nobody will see me ever again. I'll just be stuck in Linux. If I buy it in the store, I can't return it. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's true. That is true. That's why in a sense I like to just buy my own parts and assemble my own PC. The only drawback, but I used to have spares. So like, for example, if the graphics card went, I had the previous graphics card still, so I could send it back, for it to be repaired or refunded or whatever, and use the older one. So that was in the old days. I generally had second parts for things like that. And now I don't. So whatever I buy, I'll have nothing. It's just like if it packs up, I don't have a machine. That's the biggest problem with computers. If one element packs up, the rest of the machine goes down with them. Unless you order something like on Prime. But I don't really like being ripped off. So they keep pushing this business Prime, and they make it sound so great. And I'm going, yeah, you get 50% off. And I go, yeah, it costs you like $69 pounds or something on top of your existing Prime. And I'm going, what? Are you fucking crazy? The only time I ever use Prime is when they insist on giving it for free, and then I cancel. Thank you very much for free deliveries for a month. Okay, cancel. They keep sending it to me. I'm not wondering how long it'll be before the next one comes, because I've got it in time for Black Friday. Check the soup. What kind of soup? What kind of soup you making? No, that doesn't sound that Scottish at all. Soup. You're making a soup. There's James Bond. I bought a shitty 8 gig RAM Nitro for 700. Ah, very nice. Well, because Sean Connery apparently would have been quite bonkers. Well, not bonkers, but he was like, his whole life was dedicated to making shroop. He even used to write that way on Twitter. Lady, life is nothing but shroop. Shaken, not stirred. Yeah, no, it's not required by law. There's nothing wrong with it. You paid for it. It's yours. Yeah, that's the catch. But the problem is that you end up without the product for ages. This is what bothers me about Amazon. Is that yeah, you can just refund, you can just return it. I said yeah, and then I don't have a fucking printer. They want you to print the sticker out, stick it on the box, and send it back. It's like yeah, so I have to go pay somebody to print out this fucking sticker on a sticky sticker. Well, I mean, stickers would be sticky otherwise. But you know, to stick it on the box to send it back. Yeah, the postage is free. I don't have a fucking printer. So I have to go and pay to print out the sticker to adhere it to the box to send it back. That's the thing that concerns me. So I tend to avoid, mostly, I don't really shop a lot because I don't have money. Mostly the things I buy, they either work or they don't kind of thing. I mean, I bought like the cameras and things online, like in this, so yeah, something. Like this useless piece of shit as well. It doesn't work anymore. It's like, great paperweight. Look how heavy it is. This is a piece of shit. So that one I bought online, but it expired after, conveniently, just after the warranty, so they don't have to honor it. So I just let them a stinking review and told them I was Amazon influencer. Oh shit, I haven't checked Twitter again. They may have replied on Twitter. Oops. Because how important it is to. I did a tweet with the review. I said, yeah, just so you know. I mean, you may want to know. The Amazon influencer is very pissed off with your product. Yeah, I should check Twitter. I've forgotten. I haven't checked it for a couple of days. I'm hoping to get them to either honor it or at least do something with it. It's a fucking piece of shit. Fucking, can you believe that anybody in this day and age is spent €150 mic has still got a micro USB fucking port in it? It's fucking disgusting. Not going to be working. What about on an Intel? Baby says, oh, the baby should not be watching. I'm swearing like a fishwife. Hello, baby. I've forgotten his name. What's his name? I've forgotten his name. He's going, blah, 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 blah. I understand. My reply, blah, blah, blah. I don't like other companies because we should have more. I mean, it's just a stage. They're all part of the same shit. Yeah, I don't remember people's names. It's a miracle I remember anything really. Hello, Oren. How you doing? Did mommy give you chocolate? If she didn't, I'll have a word with her. He doesn't know what I'm saying. Of course he knows what I'm saying. Chocolate. Now send me the other boy. We'll have to have a word about this box thing. He's got to stop learning shit from the cat. The owl, well, that's different. The owls are kind of, they got wisdom and shit. But the cat, I don't know so much. That could from a maker for. No, not candy. Candy is bad for you. Chocolate is good for you. Teach him to eat dark chocolate. Chocolate is one of the basic necessity groups of life. No one's tried to join the queue. I'm actually almost disappointed. I'm still on this fucking screen as well. I did shave today, so tomorrow I won't be on the screen for long. Money, my beard doesn't grow very long. Just say vegetables really loudly. Vegetables! Have your veggies. Well, you never know. Some people like vegetables. Well, yeah, it's always closed. The queue is permanently closed around here. It's open now, but it's permanently closed. That's why nobody comes here anymore. It's like, fuck it. We can't be bothered to wait for 2 hours for a reading. It's like, we have important things to do. We're going to go to another tarot channel. They have nothing to do, so they will do our reading straight away. Hello, Aaron. You might be 3 months, but you're a very, very, very clever little boy. And don't let your mother tell you otherwise. You'd be surprised what they do and they don't know. I remember just like many years ago when I was 18, 19, around about there. And my best friend at the time just telepathically channeled attention. No, maybe. And my best friend's younger brother, it was like an older sister, him, younger brother, and a younger sister. And they all had the kids progressively younger, except for him. And the younger brother had a little girl. I mean, he was literally like 17, and he already had a child. Anyway, so they kind of combined the name between the two of them. She came up with the name Taryn, which was actually kind of cute. And she was gorgeous. She was really cute, and she would say hello. I mean, she was just literally Mickey Mousing, just copycatting everything. But it was only, but she wouldn't say it to her mother. Don't know why. She said the only two people that she will say it to is me and her father. Maybe she just liked men. I don't know. So you go, hello, Taryn. Hello. And she go, hello. She was tiny. She was like, I don't know, where's the camera? She was like this big. Oh, where's the fucking camera? No, that doesn't work that far. So she was like tiny. She was so tiny. She was like, I don't know, she was literally a few weeks, maybe a month. She was teeny tiny. She was like, wow, you are tiny. And she was so cute. She was really cute. Then she grew up to be, I don't know, she had a very fucked up family as well, I think. So I actually wonder what life is like now. All I read was dog. The dog. Jug Cross Ihasa Freeze. Is Jack Russell. Pug. Wow. That is quite a combination. It's a dog. It's got 4 legs. We presume it's got all 4 legs. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with the dog with only 3, or even 2, or none. AMD CPU has now gotten better than my desktop one. Yeah, it is kind of funny. It was funny like that for a long time. But the thing I had the most amount of RAM. I mean, not when I had my laptop, obviously, and I had my desktop. But my phone had more RAM than the laptop that was given to me. It was like, like I wish I could just pull it out of the phone and stick it in the laptop. Like literally, my phone had more RAM than the old laptop had. It was a bit slow. I mean, it chugged along, but it was a bit slow. Yeah, boosts up as long as it doesn't fucking get hot. As soon as it goes, oh, it's a bit warm, it just cuts down. Oh, you got a gaming laptop, so you can fuck around with the BIOS, and there it goes. Oh, it's so fucking hot. Oh, I blew up. Whoops. That's the problem, and that's also one of the reasons why the gaming laptops don't have BIOSes that you can access, so you can't actually fuck it up. However, you can still make it shut down when it gets hot, so you still have the security. Like mine would never perform properly without the Cooler Master giant fan. It's like a big fan, this big, blowing up underneath it. It's actually a stand for the laptop's actually smaller than the stand, not by much. That's why I also bought it. But this is a stand for 17 inches. I've got a 15-inch laptop on top of a 17-inch fan blowing. So it's got good circulation. That's why. But even then, it's like hot. If I touch, because I know where the processor is and the CPU is. It's touchable, but it's still too hot. So I don't know. I actually don't know what I would buy. This is something to think about. I'm actually not sure what I would buy when I have when I have a desktop again. These are worrying things. I've got to decide. I've only got about a year, by my estimate. So I actually don't know. AMD's got a lot going for it. So does Intel. Intel's the thing I don't like about Intel is that they literally create one processor with maximum speed, and then they just cripple it, and then slowly uncripple it over the period of like 300 years. They uncripple it until AMD goes, hell that, we're not doing that. We're just releasing the AMD like maxed out to capacity with a giant fan on it so it can keep it cool. And everybody goes, oh, that's a much better option. And then Intel goes, oh shit, take the crippling off and just say we accidentally found something that made it go faster. And people still fucking buy into the whole game. It's like politics. I thought you had your dad's machine. Have you bought a new machine, Barney? I wouldn't. You see, I would not buy. I would not invest in a fancy dandy graphics card. People are dead set on it. You don't need it unless you are some super fucking hardcore gamer. The 380 Ti is a waste of fucking money. The hardware can't keep up. For you to actually really use, yeah, this is what I keep saying. Like, I mean, if money was no option, I'd say absolutely get a 380 Ti. Why not? I mean, I've got a 1080 Ti in storage, which I had planned on having 3 years ago. Put it back into a machine. I've got a graphics card, sound card. I've got, well, the hard drives are here with me. I think I've just got the two cards, and by now it's so outdated. But if it arrives before I build the machine, I'm still putting my 1080 Ti back in the machine. I don't need anything else until I need it for encoding and stuff, which is the only reason why I might buy a 2080. It also depends on the price difference. This is not a big price difference, but I'd rather have a 2080 Ti than a 380. Probably. I would probably. Mine can play games that need 8 gigs and I only have 6 gigs. I thought you had the 380. Isn't that like a 12 gig? I thought the 380 Ti, I don't keep track anymore because I don't punish myself by going to look at stuff I can't afford. So I just don't look at it. When I'm ready to buy it, I will go and have a look at it. Then I'll go around, I have one of those, one of those, and one of those. That's overkill. I said, I don't care because in 5 months' time, I'll be upgrading to one of those. So then they will all work together. And in 5 months' time, the board packs up and there's no replacement boards, and let's throw everything in the bin and it's fucking useless anyway. 3-cell battery. My battery is also dead. I actually been meaning to just find out how much it costs because it'd be cheap. I think it's probably going to be cheaper for me to order one here while still in Ireland, have one sent to me here, than like out in Mexico. I'm assuming. I actually have no idea. I don't know how much it costs either, because if it's a lot of money, I'm not ordering one. Fuck that. It can just run off power and that's it. I hardly ever use. I thought you were talking about a 380. What did I miss here? You were talking about a 380. You said I have an i5, an RTX 350. Oh, 350. Sorry, I read 380. Yeah, I'd be happy. Like, I've always said two things. Well, I've said other things, but I've always said two things. There are two things that can never be too quick. And that is a computer and a car. There's no such thing. The only people who say that are people who don't know how to use computers or don't know how to drive. It's not like you have to drive like a lunatic. It just can never be too quick. It's nonsense. If a computer's too quick for you, you're a fucking slow coach. That's what it is. But video RAM and all that, that's where, for me, it'd be worthwhile to probably get the 3000 series because of the encoding. So like now, the machine, this is why it gets hot. It's using the video encode because OBS limits it to only one or two, I can't remember, things that it can encode. So it encodes this, it's encoding that, and it's encoding the stream separately and saving them. That's also one of the reasons why. But the thing is, I can't use this if I don't save it. And there's something that, and I've actually they're all on my hard drive, external hard drive to edit. There's a whole lot of stuff I want to put on YouTube. Like there's a whole lot of readings that I've done for people and things that really turned out well, and I want to use them as examples. So when people go to the website, they go, okay, what's a 9 square? They can actually go and watch it and decide if this is for them or not. They're not pointless. You see the point. You see the top hand for me is relatively unimpressive because, like, I mean, I don't travel at that kind of speed very often. Yeah, we'll say no more. I don't travel at that kind of speed very often. But it's not about the top hand. The top hand, like for me, I wouldn't buy a car because of the top hand. I'd buy the car because of the power. Because the car you see, the top hand usually comes with the power. So you don't, for example, you don't get an itty bitty little car that's capable of very high speeds because it's just not. It hasn't got the power. It's the power. It's not about the top hand. Idiots worried about the top hand. But 250 miles per hour is not that much. I've done 250 kilometers per hour, not 250 miles per hour. 250 kilometers per hour is not that much on a good road, on a good motorway. Yeah, well, that's where this machine, because of the heat, it's not able to cope. If this machine was in a desktop, this machine would cope quite well. It would cope very, very well. Actually, I've been looking at the stats. Now today it's good because I went into the BIOS. When I got up, I went there, F10, and then goes into the BIOS, save, exit, and then I went to the bathroom. So now the Wi-Fi is working. So for some bizarre reason, I get better speed when it's connected via cable because the Wi-Fi doesn't fucking work half the time. Well, it works if I go into the BIOS, which is a fucking pain. I wish Henk, can you write a script that will make the machine go into the BIOS, save doing nothing, exit, and then load Windows? Because I'd pay for that. No, a bit. Wouldn't pay a lot. It's just such a fucking nuisance because then I have to reboot. Yeah, there's no script. I know that's the problem with BIOS. I wish there was a way of making it auto-load the BIOS and then just save and do nothing. Just save, exit, because then the Wi-Fi... For some reason, when the machine picks up the same fucking router via Wi-Fi and via the LAN cable, I get an extra boost of speed. Even just going into the BIOS would be helpful because then at least when I get back, I'll swear and say, oh, for fuck's sake, it didn't start. But at least I can press save, exit, and then boot into Windows because then the Wi-Fi is working. Now, I know there probably is a way, but I don't really remember. I can fucking Google it. It'd just be so nice if you just have it just instead of going into the UE or whatever this fuck it's called now these days. Just going to the BIOS, say save, yes, save save the changes. They're not changes, fuck off. Then and then reboot and then just go into Windows because then at least I'll have the Wi-Fi working. I know. It doesn't mean it wouldn't be useful, Tara. It would still be fucking useful. It would be really fucking useful for this laptop. I would never need to use it again. It's just so irritating because that's all it takes. If you go into the BIOS, exit with saving, and boot into Windows, boom, there's the Wi-Fi. All happy. Oh, look what I found. I've got a new toy. I said, yeah, every fucking day I've got to do this. No, I have both of mine connected. The laptop, the machine doesn't do what it wants to do. It does what I tell it to do. Sometimes. Except with this fucking shit with HP, you don't have much going for the in terms of BIOS and that. I was even looking because it's way out of warranty. I was even looking to see if somebody hasn't fucking hacked the BIOS and somebody hasn't got a flashable BIOS that I can put in just to access the fucking BIOS properly and go in and change stuff. Like all it needs to do is just run the RAM at its max speed. I mean, that would be nice. Yeah, now that's what I was saying. That's why Henk was saying I'm going to shout at him. I'm never buying HP again because for that kind of money, I'm going to buy like an MSI. I don't know if they're any good or an Asus, But I like MSI and I like Asus. I had an Asus board. My first Asus motherboard was, that's all they used to do. I think Pentium 2. I had an Asus motherboard. Or maybe no, it wasn't the Pentium one. It was Pentium 2. Mostly they're all relatively dissimilar, but they are two brands I used to trust, HP until now. Got it for free from. I used to be such a fan of Asus really back then, but we're talking many years ago, that I even used to buy the Nvidia on the Asus. In fact, I think the 1080 Ti that I've got, I think it is the Asus version. It was also in part, the one I've got was because I thought it would fit into the chassis and it wouldn't. There's me. It's like, oh crap. What could possibly go wrong? I'm going, oh shit. It's like, took out what I could out of the machine. I wasn't going to dismantle the whole fucking machine. Covered everything up. No flying sparks, shit like that. Covered around the area I was going to work, and there's me with a Dremel. I went through about 2 blades because the Cooler Master cases back then, I miss my case, was built forever. You could have that case like literally for the rest of your life, and it looked like it was new when I gave it away. And I was like with the Dremel, Jesus, the blade is gone already in French. The blade is finished already. Like the next grinder, and eventually I literally made like if that was straight, I made like a little dent like this, so I could get the graphics card into the machine. Because there's nothing worse being stuck in Africa at those prices, and it's still cheaper to order it from Amazon, even with delivery and everything, and waiting for it to arrive, and then it's like, yeah, oh fuck, that's it. And I'm going, what could I do about this to make this little baby fit in here? I know, a Dremel. A Dremel with a fucking circular saw, which I fucking hate. There's one thing I've got passionate, irrational, and well, maybe not, I don't think it's irrational. I think I've got a very rational and healthy fear of blades spinning that are fiber cement. So I thought, well, I mean, maybe it'll weaken the case a little bit, but I mean, this was expensive. In fact, there weren't even any. I don't even think there were any in my region. It was the heyday of them buying them for Bitcoin mining. So that you actually couldn't get one. I could actually get one cheaper, sent delivered to me from Amazon back then. I don't know. I'm also seeing the lag, but I don't know why. There goes the internet connection again. I think I might just kill the YouTube stream anyway, but it makes no difference really. I said this before. This is not because I stream to 2 different places, because sometimes it does it and sometimes it doesn't. I'm not getting many drop frame rates, but I've been getting a lag on OBS the whole time. Just my own OBS. I mean, here locally, I'm seeing it. Oh wait a minute! I didn't shut anything down. Let's see what else. What did I? No, I shut it down earlier. I usually try and turn everything off. Now there's nothing running. Make sure there's nothing using up resources. Let's kill the OBS. Discord. Oh well, you'll just have to live with it. I could turn down the bandwidth, but it seems to be coping. I think the only way would be to kill OBS and restart it. Let me test. I might do that and be back. Let me try and check. I think there is quite a bit of a delay. About 5 or 6 seconds on my end. Oh, well. The joys of the Western world. I keep thinking that when I move down south to the Americas, and I'm thinking, wow, the internet might not be so good there. And I'm going, it's fucking useless here too. So it's like, at least that won't change. Do you have the killer center prioritize traffic? What does that mean? What is the killer center prioritize traffic? Seems to have stabilized now again. So I think that's okay. There are very few drop frame rates, so that's interesting. Not dropping any frame rates. Literally like 3% drop frame rates, which is... Exclaim 2. Hello. Clearly you're not new here because it didn't say it was a new message. I don't remember your name. I would remember that. Unless you said something earlier. Oh, there we go. First time chat. Hello, how are you doing? I'm great. How are you doing? I'm just talking shit, really. The software called Killer Control Center. With a name like that, I'm just thinking all it's going to do is actually going to waste traffic in telling me absolutely nothing I don't already know. But I'll copy and paste it, and I'll have a look at it. Let's see. I'll just copy that into my vast bits of stuff to do. I have a seriously growing list of things to do. Mostly because I don't care anymore. It's like, yeah, I'll get to it. I don't know. This started a few weeks back. I'd say now about a month, and then I phoned them to complain because the bandwidth tests are completely erratic. Like I've had like extremely huge boosts of speed, and then like almost nothing. And that's what's happening. They are overloaded with the tower. The tower's overloaded. Their system's overloaded, and they haven't upgraded. So I said to him, listen, I've been online since like 1997. I know a little bit about this. I said, you are over. If there's nothing wrong on your end, and there's nothing wrong on my end, and I can hit high speeds, then there's something wrong. Then there's something wrong on your end. There's something wrong with you've oversubscribed people. So yeah, there's no reply to that one. It could be anything. It could just be that the fucking tower doesn't cope. I thought it might be the router. I mean, it is a year old, so by now technically it should have blown up and stopped working. Now that I've paid for it, now that the warranty is paid or used up, now it should technically just stop working. So you have to buy another one. God, if I have to buy one more fucking thing before I leave this country, I'm going to scream. Because the more things pack up and stop working, I just leave them behind. I don't have to take them with me. I won't have them when I get there. As I've said, now I'm stuck on this cheaper mic, which is fine because this one's at least the quality is not bad. It's just and it's very light, very small, very light. Whereas this stupid fucking Yeti is as heavy as a pallet of bricks, and it's a piece of shit. Third party router. They're all third party, second party, whatever it is. Sim, falo português também. Ik praat een beetje Nederlander. Yo hablo un poquito español. So I speak I speak 2 or 3 fluent languages, and then one I sort of speak a little bit. The other one I speak a dialect of Dutch. Sim, é português. Estou a considerar fazer um stream por semana só em português. He's like the Weatherfakawi bird. Weatherfakawi! Weatherfakawi! Oh, somebody followed. What happened? Why does it not say on my OBS thingy? Where? The alert is missing. It flashed up on the OBS thing, but it's not in. I didn't see who that was. Well, whoever it was, thank you for the follow. Je parle un petit peu. I understand a little bit of French. I understand. I would love to speak. That's one language. That's the one I speak. But I don't speak properly. Thank you for the follow. Exclaim. But Portuguese and French are pronounced fairly similarly. And it's not that difficult to understand from one to the other because of the pronunciation. The spelling is not that far off either. So I always wanted to do it. I was actually trying to move to France to go teach English there and learn more French. Spirit is Yeah, well, I mean, talking about Latin, they both got a Latin base, a Latin tone. You shouldn't really hear a Latin tone in my voice. I wasn't born in Europe. I'm African, so it's interesting. Why do you say that? I mean, I'm not out of sarcasm. I'm just curious. Do you know how many people say, "Oh, are you French?" I said, "No, but I'd like to learn French." I don't understand why they say that. No, I'm not South African, but I lived there. Well, we just assume everyone's South African. There's a whole Southern Africa. There's a whole, like, people in Zimbabwe also speak English. So do Botswana. Different places. The whole of Southern Africa speaks English. It's fucking colonized by the Portuguese, the English. Nah, I'm not Kiwi. Do I sound like I'm a Kiwi? I don't sound like I'm Australian at all. You pronounce English like a French speaker. Do I? You articulate with your lips instead of articulating the back of your tongue. Maybe, okay, but that's interesting. Perhaps that's why. Because I don't speak French. I mean, I understand a little bit, and I always wanted to learn more. It was one language I always wanted to. Are you Kiwi, mate? That's about as good as I can get. I can do a bit of the accent, and then after a while, it just sounds like a weird mix. It just sounds like a very weird accent. I can do lots of South African accents. That I can do because I lived there long enough. So I picked up a lot of the South African. I can do the typical South African accent, which, well, it's actually not even typical because there's no such thing as a typical South African accent. I could do the typical one that they know in Hollywood. That's one I can do. I do have a Discord. It's just posted below your comment. When anyway says Discord, the bot will spit it out. It's interesting, but you see, the thing is that it's probably because technically Portuguese is my first language, and Portuguese is is a soft language like French, like that's why it's kind of difficult Spanish because it's a sound. Where Portuguese, French is a j sound. Je t'aime, João, Jean, it's all a j sound. So it's like, wow. I'm going to spit on a lot of people when I speak this language. No, I probably would sound South African because I lived there. I lived in the region. I was born in Mozambique and I lived in South Africa. But the thing is that there's no South African. There actually is a twang. I do have the twang. I lived there long enough. But there's no such thing as a South African accent. It's like, that's why they call it the Rainbow Nation. I mean, I could go in 5 seconds. I could go through so many different accents that would be natural to South Africa. So there's no natural, like if I be talking like this, I'm from Durban. And I'm a natural from Durban. I'm Indian, but my parents have been born in Durban. And all of us, we're all living in Durban, but we're South African. So this is all in Indian accent is very natural to South Africa, So it's not racist because we are South Africans. Yeah, that one actually went slightly off. So the Indian accent is perfectly natural to South Africa. That's a natural South African accent as well. You have so many of them that what you hear is what generally what people hear is the semi-Afrikaans English accent, which is what they used to on Hollywood. So they have the Afrikaans accent, but that's only part of the population, the minority. To be honest, that's why it's so funny that you have people have this perception of the South African accent, which is really based on such a small minority. To me, it makes me laugh. It really makes me laugh. Not at people. It just amuses me that it's like if you went to England and you assumed, I don't know, like the Cockney accent was England, or something specific, and it's only a specific part of, like the one that people know is the Afrikaans one. And again, it's the minority one. It's like, yeah, bro, ik is South African, you know. I speak like this, and this is my accent. But I'm not South African, so I don't talk like this because I'm not Afrikaans. You see? So I don't sound like this. So technically, I'm not South African. That's the one everybody knows, but that's a tiny minority. Then you get what people hear is the colonial English because we're not from England. Clearly, we have a colonial English, and in part it's actually an English that's no longer even spoken in England either. For the majority of the population. I used to know a lady from Suffolk. We met playing Scrabble. Years and years. We were friends online. She used to send me postcards. It was so cute. I used to get all these postcards from her. I must be honest, I wouldn't really recognize most of the English accents. I mean, I kind of just recognize a couple of them, and that's it. Like, I actually enjoy listening to them because trying to differentiate the accent. But she literally was from Suffolk. Or no, was she from Norfolk? I think I can't remember this. It's going back years. Maybe it was Norfolk. I think it was Norfolk. So people who don't know the English would say, "Oh, you sound British." No, the British say, "No, he doesn't sound British at all." He sounds like a fucking colonial. That's what he sounds like. And me, I don't know. I don't care. But I'm trying to lose whatever accent I've got. I want to have an accent that nobody can recognize. So they go, "Where are you from?" Guess. Guess. And they go, "Australia." No. It was so strange when I came, and I had an Australian friend when I first came to Dublin, and we met and we would just kind of became friends, and he was Australian, but like I didn't know he was. I mean, I didn't the first time I spoke to him, I thought he was. I didn't know what he was. I couldn't picture his accent because his parents are English, but he grew up in Australia, so he had this very soft accent. So he didn't have a full on, I see the kind of accent. He didn't. He had a very subtle accent. So I thought he was from some European country and just spoke English. He said, "No, I'm Australian." So it was the funniest thing is like when we were hanging, it became a joke. So he'd say, "Guess where we are from?" Then they'd say he was from South Africa, and they'd say I'm from Australia. It was so funny. He's like, "No, actually, he's from Australia. I'm from South Africa." Well, I'm not from South Africa, but the closest thing it would be to South Africa would be me. Well, nuts is good. We like nuts around here. I send you. I will have a look. I'll have a look. I don't know if it's copyright, so I don't want to play it on stream. But I will have a listen to it. But that actually would make sense because I grew up as a child speaking Portuguese, and then back 6, 7 or so, I then learned English and Afrikaans, which is kind of a dialect from the Dutch. So that could be why thank you for saying that, because now it just dawned on me why people think that I might be French speaking English, because my original language is similar. Very interesting. Why is there an echo sometimes on white? Are you just joking, or is there an echo? I have no idea with this new mic. Sometimes there's shit interfering with. It's a normal plug-in mic, and it's got a little a USB receiver that sends it to the computer. Because it's an HP. It hasn't got an input for fucking mic. You can have a mic, or you can have one of these. Since I have my big speakers plugged into those, it's like it's no go. Can't be bothered to plug in something could break if I plug anything in and out of this machine. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I like it as well. I think it's very interesting, and that probably now explains. It really does explain, because, like, as a child, I spoke Portuguese. Well, as a child, I spoke 3 languages after a while. But initially, technically, I'm Portuguese. I'm a Portuguese-speaking native language, except I didn't really. It's interesting. So now that makes sense. So when people say that, and now I actually understand. But I wouldn't have thought it would come out in the English. Considering, I studied in English. So interesting. But I do know when I listen to myself, especially when I get very animated or start talking like a laughing very quickly, I can hear what people say sounds South African, because it is. I can't say we because I'm not South African, but we from that region, we definitely have a specific sound, which is very hard to lose, actually. I was listening to it, I'm thinking, like, how would I not say that in a Southern African region accent? Like, how, like, I was trying to get my like accent to be like completely neutral, well, as neutral as possible. And I'm thinking, I don't actually know how I would say that. That would be, I mean, it's all very well to copy British people, like the Queen's British language, but it would just be kind of put on. So I'd be sounding like this, the terribly British, with a very pretentious accent. And people might think I'm English, but I'm not. But it'd be so much work. I was like, fuck it. Where's my beep? I have a beep button. Try to articulate the back. The King's English. Kings, Queens, who the fuck cares? What's the Queen's English? This is the Queen's English. Queen Lizard is now dead. The lizard is gone, but Charlie and the Cricket Factory is back. He's a big queen anyway. So yeah, I'd be very afraid of Charlie and the Cricket Factory. Oh, I'd have to be doing readings, I suppose. We could do that. I mean, it's a thing. It's been known to happen. I like the way he says, how the hell can I get a reading around here? What does it take? Yeah, well, a lot. It's so fucking cold. Just like you want. No, if you bothered me, I would have told you. No, normally, but usually like the first hour or so, I don't do any readings. Scotland is trying to escape again. Oh yeah, no. I usually the first hour and that especially if there's my friends and that are here, we usually just chat a bit, because the thing is, like, I'm not really interested in doing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fucking readings. I'm just not interested. It's hard work, and most people don't really do anything with it. So we around here we see like you got to type hello. Exclamation mark hello, precisely so people can't join the queue and leave, because most people just join the queue and then they go to the next queue, and they join that, and they go to the next stream and they join that, next stream and they join that, and then they're not even here when you get around to doing this. And around here it takes a while before you get around to doing a reading. So the first hour is normally closed, and this is boring. I just leave. Okay, bye. So that's how you do. I also I do have the Lenormand. I use them sometimes, but I just use normal cards. So I don't technically do tarot. Although I'm about to order a tarot pack. I've got a tarot pack. I don't use it. I'm about to order another one. So we'll see. Maybe. I need a tarot pack that I can't identify with these, because otherwise it's a problem. That's the Knight of Swords. So it's very difficult. The Knight of Swords in tarot is different to my meanings. Scotland has 3 stealth nuke subs. Whiskey golf. I thought the Irish had the golf thing to export. I thought the golf started here. It's the biggest. I think the biggest country apparently is Ireland, which I was very surprised. I even applied for a job up north, very close to Northern Ireland, in Dundalk, about a company that designs golf courses, and they were interested when I applied because they had 3D experience. Most of the gas supply of England, they're full of hot air anyway. So. Yeah. It's all politics. Hold on. Are we flashing all red again? Look, it's going from red to yellow, and then that's going. KBS is going down to 0. What the fuck? I think I'm going to cancel the stream to YouTube anyway, because there's never anybody on there. Yeah, can't be bothered. Let's have a look at the specs. Fuck it. I'm going to cancel. It'll help a little bit with the Twitch stream. I don't get many people on there anyway. Your partner's Scottish.